Are you tired of chasing love, only to find yourself exhausted, disappointed, and empty-handed? Well, my friend, you're not alone. In a world where love is often portrayed as the ultimate pursuit, it's time to take a step back and consider a different perspective. Whether it's with family, friends, or even your pet goldfish, if it's not serving your highest good, it's time to say goodbye. Welcome to Modern Stoic, where we delve into the wisdom of the ages. Today, get ready to challenge your beliefs, shift your mindset, and discover a more fulfilling path to love and meaningful relationships. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll uncover the secrets to building deep and meaningful relationships in our modern world. Let's dive in. Number 1. To truly understand the principle of never chase love, it's essential to delve into the Stoic perspective on relationships. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy founded in Athens by Zeno of Citium around 300 BC, offers invaluable wisdom that can guide us through the complexities of modern romance. At the heart of Stoicism is the concept of focusing on what is within our control and accepting what is not. This fundamental idea is encapsulated in Epictetus' famous quote, "Some things are within our control, and some things are not." When it comes to love and relationships, this wisdom is particularly pertinent. In the realm of love, what is within our control? Our own thoughts, actions, and reactions. We can choose to cultivate qualities such as kindness, compassion, and honesty. We can work on improving ourselves, becoming the best versions of ourselves that we can be. We can choose how we respond to the ups and downs of romantic relationships. But what about the things we cannot control? Other people's feelings, actions, and choices. We cannot force someone to love us, no matter how much we may desire it. We cannot make someone stay if they choose to leave. We cannot control whether or not someone will reciprocate our feelings. Trying to control these aspects of love is futile and will only lead to frustration and disappointment. This is where the principle of never chase love comes into play. Chasing love is essentially an attempt to control something that is beyond our control, the feelings and actions of another person. It's like trying to catch the wind in a net. No matter how hard we try, it will always slip through our fingers. Instead, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, ourselves. We can choose to love ourselves fully and unconditionally, regardless of whether or not we receive love from others. We can cultivate inner strength and resilience, so that we are not dependent on external validation for our happiness. The Stoics also emphasize the importance of accepting reality as it is, rather than clinging to our desires and expectations. Seneca, one of the most prominent Stoic philosophers, wrote extensively about the need to embrace adversity and learn from it. In the context of relationships, this means accepting that not every romantic connection will be successful, and that's okay. This doesn't mean that we should become indifferent or apathetic towards love. On the contrary, Stoicism encourages us to fully embrace the experience of love while recognizing its inherent impermanence. We can cherish the moments of connection and intimacy that we share with others, knowing that they may not last forever. Furthermore, Stoicism teaches us to approach relationships with a sense of detachment, not in the sense of emotional distance, but in the sense of being free from attachment to outcomes. We can love deeply and passionately, without becoming enslaved to the idea of possessing or controlling the object of our affection. In essence, the Stoic perspective on love and relationships is one of balance and wisdom. It encourages us to cultivate inner strength, accept reality as it is, and embrace love with an open heart while letting go of the need to chase after it. By following these principles, we can navigate the complexities of modern romance with grace and resilience. Number 2. Love has been romanticized throughout history as the ultimate pursuit, the pinnacle of human experience. From epic tales of star-crossed lovers to modern-day romantic comedies, we are bombarded with images of love as something to be chased, pursued, and fought for at all costs. But is this portrayal of love accurate, or is it merely an illusion perpetuated by society? To understand the illusion of chasing love, we must first recognize what it means to chase love. Chasing love is the act of relentlessly pursuing someone else's affection, validation, or approval, often at the expense of our own well-being and self-respect. It's the belief that if we just try hard enough, if we just do or say the right things, we can win someone's love and make them stay. But here's the harsh truth: love cannot be chased. Love is not a prize to be won or a conquest to be achieved. It's not something that can be captured or controlled. Love is a natural, organic process that arises between two people who are compatible and willing to grow together. It's a mutual exchange of emotions, trust, and vulnerability that cannot be forced or manipulated. When we chase love, we are essentially chasing an illusion, a fantasy that exists only in our minds. We become so fixated on the object of our desire that we lose sight of reality. We convince ourselves that if we can just win this person's love, our lives will be complete, and all our problems will disappear. But in reality, chasing love only leads to frustration, disappointment, and a never-ending cycle of longing and rejection. Chasing love also comes with a heavy price: the erosion of our self-respect and dignity. When we chase after someone who is not interested in us or who mistreats us, we are essentially telling ourselves that we are not worthy of love and respect. We compromise our values, our boundaries, and our integrity in a desperate attempt to win someone over. Moreover, chasing love often leads to a distorted view of ourselves and our worth. We start to measure our value based on whether or not someone else loves us, rather than recognizing our inherent worth as human beings. We become dependent on external validation for our happiness, which is a recipe for insecurity and unhappiness. But perhaps the most insidious aspect of chasing love is the way it distorts our perceptions of reality. When we chase after someone who is not interested in us, we may convince ourselves that they are playing hard to get or that they secretly harbor feelings for us. We interpret every ambiguous gesture or word as evidence that they are just waiting for us to prove our love to them. In reality, they may simply not be interested, and our relentless pursuit only serves to push them further away. So, if chasing love is an illusion that only leads to pain and disappointment, what is the alternative? The alternative is to let go of the need to chase after love and instead focus on cultivating love within ourselves. This means learning to love and accept ourselves unconditionally, flaws and all. It means prioritizing our own well-being and self-respect above all else. When we love ourselves fully and unconditionally, we no longer feel the need to chase after someone else's love. We become complete and whole within ourselves, and we attract others who see and appreciate us for who we truly are. This is the essence of never chase love. To recognize that love cannot be chased, but it can be cultivated within ourselves and shared with others in a healthy, authentic way. Number 3. If a relationship is hindering your personal development, it's a warning sign. Pause for a moment. Have you ever felt trapped, like you're stagnant because someone close to you isn't supporting you, or worse, actively pulling you down? It's a challenging situation, isn't it? Seneca was a staunch advocate for personal growth and self-betterment. He believed that a fulfilling life requires continuous evolution, learning, and pushing our limits. So, if you're in any kind of relationship, be it with a friend, family member, or partner, and you sense you're not progressing, Seneca would likely advise you to take heed. That's a red flag you can't afford to overlook. Now, I'm not suggesting every relationship must constantly challenge you or break world records, but the people who truly care about you should want to witness your growth. They should be your cheerleaders, your pillars of support, not weights dragging you into the abyss of what-ifs and if-onlys. It's worthwhile to sit down and have a candid conversation with yourself. Ask, why am I still holding onto this relationship? It's a tough question, but it's necessary. Here's the thing, authentic connections, the ones that truly matter, should uplift you. They should inspire you to be better today than you were yesterday. Stoicism teaches us the value of surrounding ourselves with individuals who bring positivity into our lives. It's not about amassing friends or seeking popularity. It's about creating a circle that enriches you, fosters growth, and resonates with your values. So, if you find yourself in a relationship that feels more like sinking in quicksand than soaring on a launch pad, perhaps it's time to reconsider its role in your life. Remember, it's not selfish to desire growth, it's human. Sometimes, growth means releasing those who impede us, not with resentment, but with gratitude for the lessons learned and the strength gained from knowing when to bid farewell. Reflect on your relationships. Are they pathways to your best self, or are they obstacles to your progress? And remember, the journey of self-improvement is never a solitary one. We need the right companions to truly make it meaningful. Number 4. In the realm of relationships, there exists a delicate balance between what we can control and what we cannot. This balance is where Stoicism truly shines, offering profound insights into navigating the intricacies of human connection. At the heart of Stoicism lies the concept of the dichotomy of control, a fundamental principle articulated by the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. Epictetus teaches us that there are things within our control, internals, and things outside our control, externals. In relationships, understanding and applying this principle can be transformative. Internals encompass our thoughts, emotions, desires, and actions, elements over which we have complete autonomy. Externals, on the other hand, include circumstances, events, and other people's actions, factors over which we have little to no influence. When it comes to relationships, it's natural to focus on externals, worrying about how our partner behaves, what they think of us, or whether the relationship will last. However, Stoicism encourages us to shift our focus inward, to the realm of the internals, where our true power resides. By concentrating on what we can control, our own thoughts, actions, and responses, we liberate ourselves from the tyranny of external circumstances. This doesn't mean ignoring external factors entirely, rather, it means acknowledging them without allowing them to dictate our inner state. Consider a common scenario. Your partner seems distant and uncommunicative. In this situation, it's easy to become consumed by worry and speculation. What did I do wrong? Are they losing interest in me? However, from a Stoic perspective, dwelling on these questions serves no purpose. Instead, focus on what you can control, your own behavior and attitude. Perhaps you can choose to respond with patience and understanding, giving your partner the space they seem to need. Or maybe you can use this opportunity to reflect on your own feelings and communicate them openly and honestly. By focusing on your own actions and responses, you maintain your inner peace and integrity, regardless of external circumstances. Stoicism also teaches us to cultivate a sense of detachment from outcomes. While we can influence the direction of a relationship through our actions, we ultimately cannot control how others will respond. Therefore, it's essential to detach ourselves from the expectation that our efforts will always yield the desired results. For example, let's say you express your feelings to your partner, hoping for a specific response. However, they react differently than you anticipated, leaving you feeling disappointed and frustrated. In this situation, Stoicism encourages us to accept the outcome with equanimity, recognizing that we cannot control how others feel or act. This doesn't mean giving up on expressing your needs or desires. Rather, it means releasing attachment to specific outcomes. By focusing on what you can control, your honesty, vulnerability, and communication, you honor your own authenticity, regardless of how others respond. Moreover, by focusing on what we can control, we empower ourselves to take proactive steps toward building healthy, fulfilling relationships. Instead of passively waiting for things to happen, we become active participants in shaping our own destinies. For instance, if you desire a deeper connection with your partner, focus on strengthening your bond through meaningful conversations, shared experiences, and acts of kindness. By investing in the things within your control, you create the conditions for growth and intimacy to flourish. In summary, the Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control is a powerful guiding light in the realm of relationships. By directing our attention inward, toward our thoughts, actions, and responses, we cultivate resilience, integrity, and authenticity. We learn to navigate the ebb and flow of human connection with grace and wisdom, fostering deeper, more fulfilling relationships along the way. So, remember, focus on what you can control, and let go of the rest. Number 5. Failed communication presents a daunting obstacle. What occurs when communication within a relationship falters? When efforts to discuss matters yield no results, finding common ground feels like an impossible task, and mutual understanding appears distant. This isn't merely a minor setback, it's a warning sign indicating deeper underlying issues that require attention. And indeed, Stoicism, with its timeless insights, offers guidance in this arena. Effective communication serves as the lifeblood of any flourishing relationship. It's how we articulate our needs, convey our thoughts, and forge meaningful connections. Without it, we're essentially navigating our relationships blindly, guessing at the thoughts or feelings of the other person, often inaccurately. The Stoics recognized the value of clear, honest communication. They practiced it in their lives and advocated for it in their teachings, stressing the importance of listening, understanding, and responding with wisdom and empathy. So, what do we do when communication breaks down? First and foremost, it's crucial to acknowledge that failed communication is often a symptom of deeper issues. It could stem from a lack of trust, unresolved resentments, or simply different communication styles. Whatever the root cause, Stoicism teaches us to approach the problem with clarity and an open heart. Marcus Aurelius, a staunch proponent of reason and logic in navigating life's challenges, would likely advise applying these same principles to communication issues. This involves stepping back, minimizing emotions, and objectively analyzing the situation. Where is the breakdown occurring? Why? What steps can be taken to enhance it? Improving communication demands effort from all parties involved. It's about fostering a safe environment where each person feels heard and valued. It entails active listening, seeking to understand the other's perspective genuinely. It's about expressing oneself clearly and respectfully, devoid of accusations or presumptions. And perhaps most importantly, it's about exercising patience and persistence even when progress seems elusive. Stoicism also underscores the significance of empathy and compassion in communication. Remember, everyone has their own struggles, fears, and insecurities. What may seem like hostility or indifference might actually be a defense mechanism. By approaching communications with empathy, we pave the way for deeper understanding and connection. Failed communication needn't mark the end of a relationship. Rather, it can be an opportunity for growth for both individuals and the relationship itself. It's a chance to learn more about each other, hone communication skills, and foster a stronger, more resilient bond. So, if you're grappling with communication challenges, take a moment to reflect on Stoic principles, clarity, honesty, and empathy. Use them as your compass to navigate through the issues. Remember, the goal isn't just to talk more, but to communicate better. In the richness of effective communication, we discover the true essence of connection and understanding, the very foundations upon which meaningful relationships are built. Number 6. Imagine a connection that, instead of being a haven of peace and solace, feels more like a tempest, constantly disrupting your inner calm and leaving you feeling unsettled. It's a challenge, isn't it? When those very bonds meant to enhance our lives end up costing us our peace of mind. This serves as a clear signal that it's time to pause and ponder the role such a relationship plays in our lives. Enter Stoicism, an age-old philosophy that places immense importance on tranquility. It teaches us to nurture a state of inner calm that remains undisturbed by external circumstances. The Stoics believed that peace of mind isn't just a precious asset, it's essential for living a fulfilling life. They taught us to maintain our equanimity in the face of life's fluctuations, including how we navigate our relationships with wisdom and discernment. So, what do we do when a relationship consistently disrupts our tranquility? First and foremost, Stoicism encourages us to take a step back and analyze the situation objectively. Ask yourself, why does this relationship disturb my peace? Is it the other person's behavior, unresolved conflicts, or perhaps my own reactions and expectations that are to blame? This process of self-examination is crucial because it shifts us from emotional reaction to rational response. Once we've pinpointed the source of the disturbance, the next step is to consider what can be changed. Can the issues be addressed through open and honest communication? Are there boundaries that need to be established or reinforced? Remember, Stoicism doesn't promote passive acceptance of all situations. While it teaches us to accept what we cannot change, it also encourages us to take action where we can make a positive difference. However, if after careful consideration and effort, the relationship continues to be a source of turmoil, it may be time to reassess its place in your life. This isn't about giving up at the first sign of trouble. It's about recognizing when a relationship fundamentally clashes with your values and your pursuit of tranquility. The decision to distance yourself from a relationship that disrupts your peace isn't to be taken lightly. It requires courage, honesty, and sometimes, the willingness to let go for the sake of your own well-being. But remember, the Stoic aim isn't to eradicate all discomfort from our lives. It's about cultivating inner resilience that allows us to face challenges with equanimity. Ultimately, the relationships we choose to maintain should bolster our pursuit of tranquility, not undermine it. They should be sources of strength, growth, and joy, not constant unrest. So, if you find yourself constantly disturbed by a relationship, view it as an opportunity to apply Stoic wisdom. Reflect, evaluate, and choose the path that leads to peace. Let's strive to surround ourselves with people who contribute to our tranquility, honoring not only the teachings of Stoicism but also our own journey toward a life of peace, purpose, and profound fulfillment. Remember, the quality of our lives is significantly influenced by the quality of our relationships. It's about finding balance, embracing truth, cultivating respect, and, above all, ensuring our connections enrich our lives without compromising our peace. Number 7. When it comes to relationships, authenticity is like a magnet that draws people towards us. Authenticity is the quality of being true to oneself, of not pretending to be someone we're not in order to gain someone else's approval or affection. In the realm of love and romance, authenticity is not only attractive, it's essential for building meaningful connections. Imagine this scenario. You meet someone you're interested in, and you decide to put on a facade to impress them. You agree with everything they say, suppress your own opinions, and mold yourself into what you think they want. At first, it might seem to work. They're showing interest, laughing at your jokes, and everything seems to be going well. But beneath the surface, there's a fundamental problem. By pretending to be someone you're not, you're building a relationship on shaky ground. It's like constructing a house on a foundation of sand. It may look fine on the surface, but eventually, it's going to crumble. Authenticity is the bedrock upon which healthy relationships are built. When we're authentic, we invite others to see us as we truly are, flaws and all. Think about the people in your life whom you admire and respect the most. Chances are, they're the ones who are unapologetically themselves, who don't try to hide their quirks or vulnerabilities. Authenticity is magnetic because it's rare. In a world where so many people wear masks to hide their insecurities, someone who is genuine stands out like a beacon of light. But authenticity isn't just about being true to ourselves, it's also about being honest with others. This means communicating openly and transparently, even when it's uncomfortable. Authentic relationships are built on a foundation of trust, and trust can only be cultivated through honesty and vulnerability. When we chase love, we sacrifice authenticity in favor of conformity. We mold ourselves into what we think the other person wants, rather than being true to who we are. But here's the paradox: the more we try to be someone we're not, the less attractive we become. People are drawn to authenticity like moths to a flame because it signals confidence, self-awareness, and integrity. Authenticity also fosters deeper connections because it allows us to truly see and be seen by another person. When we're authentic, we invite others to share in our joys, our struggles, and our triumphs. We create a space where both parties can be vulnerable without fear of judgment or rejection. But perhaps the most powerful aspect of authenticity is its ability to weed out incompatible partners. When we're true to ourselves, we naturally repel those who don't resonate with who we are. This might sound counterintuitive. After all, shouldn't we want to attract as many potential partners as possible? But the truth is, not every connection is meant to last. By being authentic, we filter out those who are not aligned with our values, goals, and vision for the future. In essence, authenticity is the antidote to chasing love. Instead of trying to win someone over by pretending to be someone we're not, we should embrace our true selves and trust that the right person will be drawn to us for who we are. So, the next time you're tempted to chase love, remember this: authenticity is the key to genuine connection. Number 8. In the labyrinth of our relationships, we've all experienced the whirlwind of negative emotions at some point. Have you ever found yourself amidst the drama, where support feels like a distant memory? It's draining, isn't it? Marcus Aurelius, a sage of ancient wisdom, had profound insights into managing our emotional turmoil. He famously stated that while we can't control external events, we do have mastery over our minds. This realization is transformative, especially in the context of relationships laden with jealousy, anger, or any other toxic emotion. Consider this: if your relationship resembles a battlefield more than a sanctuary, it's a clear sign that something needs to change. Emotions are an integral part of the human experience, but they shouldn't dictate the essence of a lasting relationship. I'm not suggesting we strive to live devoid of anger or jealousy. That would be like trying to breathe without air. However, Marcus Aurelius teaches us that we hold the reins to our reactions. Whether it's jealousy over a friend's success or anger at someone undermining you, you have the power to choose your response. But how do we put this into practice? It begins with awareness. Recognize when these emotions arise and question their origin. Why do I feel this way? What can I learn from it? How can I respond in a manner aligned with my values? These questions aren't easy, but they're crucial. Sometimes, the healthiest response is creating space or initiating change. It's not about evading problems, but acknowledging when a relationship is dragging us into negative spirals. It doesn't imply failure or villainy. It's understanding that some relationships aren't meant to endure every season of our lives, and that's okay. The Stoics believed in living in harmony with nature. Sometimes, the natural course is to grow apart. So, if you're constantly grappling with negativity in your relationships, pause and reflect on Marcus Aurelius's wisdom. You hold power over your mind, reactions, and ultimately, your choice of relationships. Let's not allow drama to define our connections. Instead, let's foster relationships rooted in respect, understanding, and genuine support. These are the bonds that withstand time's trials and bring out the best in us. Number 9. The absence of mutual reverence can be a relationship killer. Think about it. Without respect, what foundation do we really have? It's akin to constructing a house on shifting sand. Eventually, everything will come crashing down. The Stoics, who were deeply invested in the notion of leading a virtuous life, placed significant importance on self-esteem and the respect we extend to others. They believed that every individual possesses inherent value and dignity, and this belief should be mirrored in our treatment of one another. So, if you're finding yourself in a relationship where your dignity isn't being honored, it's a major warning sign. It's not merely about feeling undervalued. It's about realizing that a core aspect of your humanity is being ignored. Mutual respect is the cornerstone of any healthy bond. It's the bedrock upon which trust, love, and authentic understanding are built. Without it, what remains? You're left with a connection that's empty, unfulfilling, and frankly, not worth your precious time and emotional investment. Now, some of you might be thinking, but what if it's more complicated than that? What if I truly care about this person? Fair questions. Relationships are intricate, and emotions run deep. However, this is where the wisdom of Stoicism can offer guidance. The Stoics advocated for clarity, rationality, and living in harmony with our highest principles. They would urge us to step back and evaluate our relationships through this lens. Are we being true to ourselves by staying in a situation where we're not respected? Are we honoring our inherent worth and the virtues we strive to embody? If the answer is no, then it might be time for a serious reevaluation. This doesn't necessarily mean abruptly cutting ties with someone. Instead, it's about recognizing your own value and making decisions that reflect that. It might involve establishing clearer boundaries, having an open conversation about your feelings, or, in some cases, acknowledging that it's time to part ways. Remember, respecting yourself and insisting on being treated with respect by others is not selfish or unreasonable. It's a manifestation of the self-worth that the Stoics believed each of us should nurture. It's about living with integrity and ensuring that our relationships mirror the respect and virtue we aspire to in our own lives. So, if you're grappling with a lack of mutual respect, take a moment to contemplate what that means for your well-being. Consider how you can address this issue in a way that upholds your dignity and principles. Because, ultimately, every one of us deserves to be in relationships where we're treated with the same respect and consideration we extend. Let's strive to foster connections rooted in mutual respect, where each individual is valued and appreciated for who they are. That's the kind of relationship that not only survives but flourishes, embodying the essence of living a life grounded in Stoic wisdom and virtue. Number 10. Addressing abuse is a challenging but imperative issue that we must confront. Abuse, whether physical, emotional, verbal, or psychological, is a clear indication that it's time to end the relationship. Stoicism, a philosophy deeply rooted in principles of dignity, self-respect, and the value of human spirit, unequivocally denounces any form of abuse. This behavior not only goes against Stoic principles of self-respect and respect for others, but also undermines the trust and safety essential for healthy relationships. Stoicism teaches us to recognize our inherent worth and emphasizes the importance of maintaining our dignity and self-respect. These are not just abstract ideas, they are practical guidelines for action, especially in challenging times. When facing situations where these principles are violated, Stoicism encourages us to act, not out of anger but out of respect for ourselves and our well-being. Abuse tramples on dignity and self-respect, aiming to diminish the victim's sense of self and instill fear. This is entirely opposed to Stoic values. The Stoic response is clear: seeking help and leaving the abusive relationship is not only important but necessary. It aligns with Stoic ideals of living a virtuous and dignified life that respects the worth of every individual, starting with oneself. Leaving an abusive relationship is one of the toughest decisions one may face, requiring immense courage, strength, and often support. Here, the Stoic practice of seeking wisdom from those who faced similar challenges or professionals becomes invaluable. Seeking help is not weakness but strength, affirming one's worth and commitment to a life free from harm. Stoicism doesn't stop at leaving abusive situations. It emphasizes the process of healing and reclaiming dignity and self-respect. While we can't control others' actions, we can control our responses and how we move forward. Healing from abuse is a Stoic journey of reasserting control over our inner world, reaffirming our values, and rebuilding our lives in alignment with those values. If you're facing abuse, know it's not your fault, and you're not alone. Seeking help, leaning on support, and leaving such a situation behind reflect the utmost respect for yourself. These steps lead to a life where dignity, self-respect, and well-being are prioritized, as they should be. In the spirit of Stoicism, let's value ourselves, respect our worth, and take decisive action to remove ourselves from harmful situations. Let's stand firm in our commitment to dignity, self-respect, and a life rich in virtue and meaning, free from abuse. Number 11. Feeling bound to illusions rather than reality. Stoicism at its core revolves around acceptance. Accepting the truth of our lives, our connections, and the world around us, not as we desire them to be, but as they truly exist. The Stoics, with their practical and down-to-earth approach to life, teach us that there's immense strength and freedom in perceiving things clearly, without the rosy tint that illusions often bring. So, what does this mean for our relationships? It means taking a sincere, unfiltered look at them and questioning whether they're grounded in reality or if we're holding onto fantasies. Are we ignoring warning signs, overlooking problems, or creating an image of someone that doesn't align with reality? If so, we're not doing any favors for ourselves or our partners. Being tethered to illusions in a relationship can feel like being trapped in a desert oasis. From afar, everything seems flawless. But up close, you realize it's just a mirage, lacking substance and truth. This isn't to say hope and aspirations have no place in relationships, they do. But there's a delicate balance between healthy aspirations and losing ourselves in fantasies that hinder genuine connection. Embracing the truth, as the Stoics would advocate, involves confronting these illusions directly. It's about having the bravery to recognize and accept the reality of our relationships, even when it's uncomfortable or painful. This is no small feat. It demands honesty and vulnerability, yet there's immense power in truth. It forms the bedrock of authentic, meaningful relationships. Choosing reality over illusion can be transformative. It might mean realizing a relationship isn't what you thought, or the person you're with isn't who you hoped they'd be. This realization can be bitter, but it's a vital step towards genuine growth and emotional liberation. It creates space for authentic relationships, where love is given and received for who you truly are, not the illusions you've crafted. So, if you feel tied to illusions, pause to reflect. What parts of your relationship are genuine, and what parts have you embellished or imagined? How does this alignment, or lack thereof, impact your happiness and well-being? Remember, Stoicism isn't about pessimism or resigning to misery. It's about finding peace and contentment by embracing the truth of reality. Let's challenge ourselves to view our relationships through the lens of Stoic acceptance. Let's welcome the truth, no matter how difficult, and in doing so, open ourselves to genuine, fulfilling connections that enrich our lives profoundly. Because in the clarity of truth, we discover the path to true happiness and love. If you have made it this far in the video, I am really grateful for your love and support. Whether you are a brother or sister watching this video, I pray that you have great relationships. Take it easy and I will see you soon.